A question we are asked often: when will the restoration finally be finished? And the answer often surprises people. We do not know. Perhaps not in our lifetime. Each small step, no matter how small in this enormous project, slowly brings us closer. But we must be patient. When we first arrived at Château de Purnon, there was almost no trace of the network of stone gutters that stood at the base of our largest buildings. Covered by previous generations, or sometimes just by the passage of time, they had been lost to us. Now we are gradually recovering them. This week, as our stonemasons removed another section of the scaffolding, a new section of the stone gutters could be uncovered.
So they're really quite beautiful. The angled stones gathered the rainwater as it tumbled off the roof, and it channeled them to a system of underground tunnels. And those tunnels in turn took the harvested rainwater to giant underground cisterns. And that storage meant that the rainwater could be used in the dry summer months. Now we've been gradually uncovering this enormous network of stone gutters ever since we arrived here at Château de Purnon, but some of them are buried so deep that we've needed the help of our stonemasons, and as they've been uncovering them, they've been starting the process of repairing them as well. And so this is just another example of how we're returning the chateau to the way Purnon would have looked at the end of the 18th century when the chateau was first constructed.
We've been sharing with you the progress of the future Tisenry, a tea room on the first floor. It's been over 2 years since the tiles in this room were lifted to start work laying infrastructure under the floor and up to the second floor. It's a great opportunity to remove centuries of rubble between the floors and lay some insulation. This week, our stonemasons continued their work to complete the new door opening, covered the large channel in the wall, before finally the 18th century Timet tiles could be relayed. As we wait for the floor in the Tisenry to set and dry, we've shifted our attention to 2 small rooms that are destined to hold the chateau's precious collection of archives. Many of the documents date back before the Revolution. We're creating a space where temperature, humidity, and UV light can be carefully controlled to protect these documents. Well, we are really keen to get these 2 rooms moving along. They are 2 hidden rooms, 2 of the entresols of the chateau, and you could not find these if you tried. These are the most hidden rooms in the chateau. Last year, Tim started working on the shelving for the rooms. Our carpenters have taken away the windows to be restored, and I also tried to colour match the original 18th century colour with one of Farrow and Ball's lime wash colours for our architect to approve. He did not approve my colour selection, and so I need to go back and revisit the colours and try and get a better match. Well, it is great to have progressed this week on Purnon's Tisenry and our future archive room to protect the incredible archives that we have discovered here at the Chateau. You have seen that we have started work on this room this week. We have done some work on preparing the ceiling. We've done the repairs on the ceiling that were needed before we could move on to painting it. And we've also repaired the stonework on the walls in there where they have had holes and chips and so on over the years. And we have also matched the original 18th century lime wash colour. So next week you should see us, if we get enough time, getting stuck into that room a bit more. But babe, we get asked a lot, why are we spending so much time on these small rooms of the Chateau?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I know people want to see us progressing as fast as possible. They want to see that room count get down as we restore more and more rooms. And it's easy to think of the Chateau as being all about its grand rooms, the Grand Salon, the library, the dining room, the large rooms that we think of when we think of the grandeur of Chateau life. But in truth, those small rooms are really, really important. Even though many of them have been really abandoned for over half a century because they haven't had maids and servants at Purnon for such a long period of time, these rooms were a really important part of the Chateau's history. If we look carefully when we're restoring them, we uncover details about people's names etched into the walls, people's initials, the dates that they were there. They store some quite amazing artefacts that will also help us uncover more about the history of the Chateau. So taking the time to restore them properly, it is an historic restoration here at Purnon, and so taking the time to restore them properly is a really important part of our journey. And really the story of what happened in those small rooms is the story of the Château de Purnon, and not to tell those stories and not to uncover them would be to miss half the story of this remarkable building. So it's really important that we do them properly.
And I think also from a practical level, when we arrived, these rooms had been abandoned for such a long time that they were really so dirty and dusty, and things in them were rotting, and they were full of spiders and so on. And so in terms of getting the house under control and providing us with clean spaces and a clean living environment and places where we can store things properly, these rooms also provide us the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, it's really important that we proceed with patience, which really is the theme of this week's video. Now, for our Australian friends, we are coming to see you in March. Please have a look at the links below for those events in Melbourne, Sydney and Perth. So great news, our Sydney event has almost sold out. So Museums of History New South Wales are releasing a second event on Wednesday the 11th of March. So if you've had trouble getting tickets, this week they'll put more tickets on sale for a second event. And if you're interested in coming and meeting with us when we're in Australia, grab a ticket to one of those events.
And all the details are in the description below. And as always, if you would like to follow the restoration of Château de Purnon more closely, we post a free weekly video here on YouTube where we take you on every step of this restoration journey. If that is not enough and you would like to dive deeper into our journey here, we post an exclusive weekly video for our YouTube members and Patreon members. And babe, what is it this week?
And this week we have a close look at an element of the Chateau that was changed, that we're taking back to its original state, and one of the remarkable discoveries that we've made in the process of doing that.
Otherwise, we also post frequent updates on all our social media channels, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Otherwise, just hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and we will keep you updated here. See you next week.